wonderful good morning, dear viewers. Those of you watching Lumen TV Zambia, this is Lumen This Day. You are with me, Sidin Mwamainda. Of course, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Vincent Piri, and of course, we have Father Gabriel Maplanga with us. Vincent, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Sydney, and welcome, viewers. Of course, we are back with yet another exciting Lumen TV this day. And of course, Father Maplanga is around, and maybe you can also introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Father Maplanga, of course, I've been coming to Lumen TV. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Thank you so much.
So, dear viewers, when you see Father Maplanga here, it is to do with the social doctrine of the Catholic Church. And in this particular episode, because the Zambian government, through the Minister of Finance and National Planning, presented a budget standing at 253.1 billion proposed for 2026. And Father Maplanga is here to help us analyze this budget. Father, there's an increase of 36 billion from the 2025 budget, which had an allocation of 217.1 billion. When this budget was released, Father, the other day we were here, the other Tuesday, a week today, when we were talking about the expectations of the budget, you talked about the allocations and everything. When the budget was finally released here, what was Caritas Zambia as a reaction?
Thank you very much. First of all, we understand the budget to be like how the government plans to spend the money that it will collect in a year. And so the government tries to divide this money. The money goes to various categories. And we would like to see that those categories that are very, very critical, they receive enough money. And so we look at how priorities are made when we have the budget. But one other thing I want to talk about is that this is not the first time that the budget is being made. We have had the budget since Zambia got independence. And the budgets are quite similar. Like, it's almost like the same. And mainly there is always an increase year after year. And we see that this is how the budget always goes. If you happen to look at Caritas Zambia website or Facebook, there is something that we have posted there where we have analyzed the budget. But we took a different approach. This time we say that, we can analyze the budget as the minister presented it, but there is always something that is missing from the presentation. That is not seen, that is invisible. And this time we can try to look at that which is invisible in the budget. So we say we analyze the budget outside the box. Just like the idiom says, thinking outside the box. So why can't we apply the same thing to the analysis of the budget? As you said, the increase is there or seen, well elaborated, and in fact, some segments of the budget goes to very important categories like health, education, social welfare. We have seen increase in this, and even in other areas have received some favorable response. There are also others that could have received more, but they haven't received what they are supposed to receive. But the budget is always like that. Generally, the budget is good. The way the minister outlines what he wants to do, and the way he talks of the positive things that have happened in this government, of course. And, when the minister speaks, he focuses a lot on the positive and on the successes, but there is something that is not seen. And maybe the analysis can focus on those that we don't see from
So
the
tell us further, what is it that the minister missed out that Caritas Zambia and the church would want to see?
Yeah. For me, first of all, the critical thing that we are facing in this country is unemployment, and unemployment from the youths. And would like to have an elaborated strategy of approaching the unemployment issue. Zambia offloads almost like 100,000 graduates from schools, from universities, from colleges, going on the labor market. And the number of people that are absorbed from that is almost like between 2,000 and 20,000 per year. Now, if we are offloading 100,000 young people on the market every year, and you just employ around that, then the problem is big. And so we would like the budget to look at this and see how they are planning to tackle the issue of unemployment, especially unemployment of the youth. Then you come back to the budget, you also see how much is going into that. And we analyze the budget from that point of view. The second thing, mining, very, very important. And we saw from the way the minister was speaking, very impressive how mining has been revived, which is a very good thing because the country depends on mining. And Zambia, without mining, is nothing. This budget that we have without mining, it is nothing. Now, the issue is improvement in mining is welcome, and we praise the government for doing that. But at the same time, we look at it from another side. How many people are employed by the mines? These mines that have come, how many people is it absorbing from an unemployment state? And what you see is that there's improvement in mining, investment coming, but there isn't that equal balance of employing people so that they benefit from mining. And that's where we look at it ourselves, that this is outside the box. We analyze it from that point of view. It can be growth, let's say in mining, or growth in general in Zambia, but this is a jobless growth. And if it is a jobless growth, it is a problem. And we really need to look at that. The other aspect we can look at is housing. You don't find it in the budget coming out clearly. You can't have a country where housing is such a big problem like we have. You can't just say that people will be building their own houses. It can't work like that. We need to have housing or social housing where the councils, or let's say the government, is building houses every year, and yet people start renting like it used to be before. And if that is not done, then it will be a very difficult problem even for the youths to have housing. They are growing. They want to have their families. It should be easy to keep your family in your shelter. You are renting, not necessarily renting from other people, but renting from the houses that the government has built. It gives a bit of security. But we don't see this happening. We have some organizations building houses, but they are extremely expensive. Who can get those houses from NAPSA, that NAPSA builds, or other government agencies build? But we really need these housing. People who are coming up, who are founding their families, they need to have shelter. So we look at all these, and agriculture, of course, very, very important. even more important than the mines. The mining will end, minerals will finish very soon at the level that we are digging them, but agriculture is the mainstay. And so we compare how much is going to agriculture and what kind of agriculture do we need and all those. So we analyze the budget from this point of view. We are calling it like a critical out of the box analysis of the budget.
Further, also the other issue maybe is the allocation of the resources between the urban and the rural areas and vis-a-vis the Constituency Development Fund, which has also year in, year out, it's being increased. It's now standing at 40 million per constituency.
Yes.
Is it working? How do you want this to be?
Yes, first of all, the CDF, which is like form of decentralizing, decentralization. From the Catholic point of view, we call it subsidiarity, where we say that development should start at the level where people are. Those decisions should be made there, and the resources, they should have a say on the resources. Now, if you look at this from that point of view, the idea of CDF is very, very good, and the way they have put it, where they distribute equally throughout the country. Myself, I find it to be very good, especially in this situation of multi-party where we are. There is no favoritism, like you didn't vote for me, so you don't get CDF. So this is equal, which is a good thing, and we should praise it. But announcing the amount of money going to CDF and how that money is being used is another thing. Generally, the usage of CDF is not impressive, and many people are complaining. And it is like maybe some people don't know exactly how to go about it. Maybe some are deliberately disturbing it, and maybe the government is also not maybe dishing out the money as it is supposed to do. But generally, the money is going to the councils and to those areas, and it is up to those areas to make use of that money. In some constituencies it is being used, money is being spent. In some constituencies it is not, but money is going to the council. It may not, like if they say 40 million kwacha per constituency, it doesn't mean that 40 million will go there. Let's say come January 40 million is here, because the government may not have that money like that. But the government may say out of 40 million, maybe 10 million is given, and that 10 million can be used according to how they have budgeted. And so some of the councils or some of the constituencies are not doing that. It's not happening. In some other areas, it is happening. But generally, of course, there are some things that have happened in terms of school desks, in terms of school classrooms, in terms of sending some youths to go and have a skill, and also in terms of sponsoring some of the disadvantaged youths who are going to boarding schools. The CDF pays for those. Some of those things are happening.
Okay. Further, in the interest of time, when we know you have a lot of things to do, I'm sure you've also mentioned that the critical analysis that Caritas Zambia made is on the social platforms of Caritas Zambia and has been shared by many other platforms, and then people will, can just be urged to look out for that one and see what is it that you are saying. In the final analysis further, just in few words, what would you want to see in terms of the implementation of this budget that has been proposed? Because many a times that when a national budget is proposed like this, we don't see many changes happening. Yeah,
exactly. The main issue is how the budget is implemented. Those are just numbers that they mention, but in the actual sense you find that expense is completely different from the way it has been planned. We want to urge the government to stick to the budget. And of course, they will say that this is not cast in stone. Something else can happen. There can be a catastrophe, so resources can move from one sector to another. But all the same, we know that we Zambians are very bad at implementation. Just like the policies, they are very good policies, but implementing is a problem. Even with the budget, very good budget, but how to implement it is a problem. So what we want to see is the actual implementation of the budget. Let the money be spent accordingly, and let it happen so that everyone is aware that this is happening. And like that, people have the confidence. That's what we want to see.
Great. Father, thank you very much for making an appearance on Lumen this day. Dear viewers, we've been talking to the Reverend Father Dr. Gabriel Maplanga, the Executive Director at Caritas Zambia. For now, we'll allow him to leave, but as we see him leave, we'll take to the video where we see Minister Mutolo warns agro dealers in Muchinga against illegal e-voucher conversions. There is a video, and then we'll pick it up from there.
So calm and collected, Elizabeth Mumbi waits for the successful redeeming of her electronic voucher so she can collect her inputs in readiness for the farming season. Agriculture Minister Ruben Mtolo is on hand to help redeem the inputs for Miss Mumbi, a smallholder farmer under the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP in the outskirts of Chinsari district in Muchinga province.
Boma yaba hakaindi isuma sana mwaumfama so in an interim you are the first farmer I've redeemed in Zambia this year.
Mr. Mtolo has toured some agro dealer shops in selected districts in Muchinga and cautions both agro dealers and farmers against discounting or cashing out the vouchers. He further urges agro dealers to allow farmers select inputs of their choice.
Everything is moving smoothly. As you can see outside there, we have quite a number of farmers.
When you say you have started redeeming, what do you mean?
We have started issuing out inputs, farming inputs to the farmers.
Yes, so we have taken the services nearer to the farmers. Instead of farmers incurring the cost as we are taking. So redemption is going on not only in Chinsari but in all the areas. But for Ilondora, I can confirm from morning up to now, I think he has done about 45 farmers.
I would like to encourage you,
yes, sir,
you are regional manager,
yes, sir,
to tell your young workers here, employees here, that they should not be part of the group that is redeeming or that is discounting farmers, vouchers.
Yes.
In other words, a farmer comes with a voucher and says, no, she requires seeding, therefore so you must send 30% in 70%.
Yeah.
That is a crime. We will not be friends.
Most agro dealers registered under FISIP in Muchinga province have stocked up various agricultural inputs in readiness for farmers to redeem their e-vouchers.
Okay, so there the Minister Mutolo was issuing a strong warning, Sydney, to agro dealers in Muchinga province, cautioning them against colluding with farmers to convert e-vouchers into cash, Sydney.
Yes, Vincent. I think very important, like we heard, we were just with Father Maplanga here. He talked about how important the agriculture sector is, that mining, one day the minerals will end, but agriculture will remain to be there, and it is what makes us who we are in terms of if you haven't eaten, you are like a vehicle. If it doesn't have fuel, it can't move. If you haven't eaten anything, then you can't move. Look at how much Mirimi was before this harvest season. Yeah, it was going close to 500 kwacha, and so if the farmers become corrupt and start to get monies and spend elsewhere instead of getting the inputs, then we can be in that problem again. So it is important. I think the warning comes at a very good time when we are closer to the farming season. People are preparing their fields already. If you lived where people used to farm or lived in a village, you know that this is the time when we prepare fields, and that message comes at the right time. The distribution of the e-vouchers also comes at the right time, and it's a good call that farmers should go, get their inputs, and so get ready for the farming season. And we are told farming or agriculture has to be taken as a business now. So you cultivate, you have a good harvest, you have some for food, you sell to some of us who don't cultivate anything. Yeah, so very important, Vincent. Maybe we can move on, Vincent, continuing on the political front. We saw the opposition political parties in the PF and Tonse Alliance were supposed to have a meeting, and it was disrupted. And Secretary of the Alliance, Mr. Rakachinda, had a press, and this is what he had to say.
To have our cadres take it upon themselves to try and disrupt a meeting speaks to the fact that even when we had expressed as leaders that the matters that involves Patriotic Front and the matters that involves Tonse Alliance, we are well capable to resolve them. And to that effect, we condemn what happened yesterday, and as Secretary General, because some of them are known members of PF, I want to take responsibility and say that we regret what happened yesterday, and I want to, direct and demand that the youth chairman of Tonse, who is also our deputy national youth chairperson, Celestine Mkandila, and I think I saw Ibrahim equally issuing some statement around what happened yesterday, to give me a full report of what transpired. I want to inform the Zambian people that your expectation in relation to the need to unite as Tonse, as well as the opposition generally, that demand will be adhered to. Every effort will be made to make sure that Tonse does not disintegrate.
Okay, so the political front, we saw a meeting of PF and Tonse Alliance disrupted, Sydney. I think, Sydney, last time when we were here, we talked about having a strong opposition if we have to see checks and balances. But if what we look at being probably the strongest opposition, because these come into an alliance, and a lot of leaders have come in, but we are seeing all this disorganization that is happening, and not too good for Zambia, so to say, especially as we are going into the general election in 2026, which is just a few months from now, next year.
Yeah, so Vincent, those we are seeing there are the moving pictures of the cadres who went there to disrupt a meeting that the PF and Tonse Alliance had staged, and then police had to come in to help. Vincent, what we are seeing is very unfortunate in this opposition. In a multi-party democracy, you always desire that there's the left wing, which is very strong, so that they can help keep the checks and balances to the ruling party, as it were. But what is happening, I think, for me, these are teething problems that we are seeing in the opposition. They lost a leader. First, they lost an election, that is the PF, which is the anchor party, as they say in the alliance. It's the anchor party. They lost the president, or they lost the election 4 years ago. We are going into the 5th year. They up to now, they don't have a leader, so to say. President, the late Chagwalungu, had to come back and took up the mantle. Unfortunately, as the Franciscan will say, Sister Death came, and then he took him, and up to today they don't have the leader, we may say, that is the president of the party. And so they are trying to reorganize themselves, have these meetings and come up with something. But there's been tagging and some kind of code wars, a statement this side, a statement the other side. And, you know, everyone is actually eyeing that seat probably. And so even in the disruption of the meeting that we saw, people are saying that there are some people who had to send the cadres to go and disrupt that meeting, because I don't know, the meeting was to come up with some names of whom the late president had said, you know, these are the people that should lead the party in the unfortunate situation that he passed on. So that is what we are seeing. We can only wish the PF and the Tonse Alliance all the best, that as Honorable Nakachinda said, that they come together, they have their leaders in place, and they soldier on and give us the opposition that we would want to say. Not saying that, we are not saying that we don't have any other oppositions, but you know, Zambia has a lot of opposition political parties, but we cannot run away from the fact the PF was a ruling party, and so it is the largest opposition political party. Yes, these others are coming out, they are there, we treasure them and the like, but the many they are, the stronger they are, the better for our national development. Yes, Vincent. Yeah, where else do we go, Vincent? Maybe in the interest of time, we'll try to end here. But there's a video, Vincent, of the dirty water that some people are said to be having from their taps in the compounds and in Kabanana, so to say. So end, dear viewers, with showing that plight that the people are facing in our compounds, not very far away from the central district town, but within the city of Lusaka in Kabanana. So that is what is happening. So we'll end with that video. We'll make each one of us will make their own conclusions, and what is it that the leadership is being called to, of course, is to be there for service to the people. Thank you very much for having followed us, and join us again when we come next Tuesday, probably with another episode. Thank you very much, Vincent. Thank you very much, viewers. And from me and the entire Lumen TV crew, is continue watching Lumen TV Zambia. For now, that is Lumen this day.
Manzi au kabanana ya. Maya una malaiti vania machita. Maya una road shading manzi banji vantu vane vasamba kumwa. Ayachuka kutapu, direct kutapu, as you can see. Direct kutapu. And you expect people kazimwa manzi vaso. Vantu kazimwa manzi aso, and you think this is health. This is health hazard. And no wonder electricity is needed.